Let's take a step back for a second. What was Elon Musk's reputation like before he was a CEO at Twitter? Because he was just booed over the weekend. He's really criticized on Twitter because of this tweet. But what was it like just a few months ago?
Well, I think one of the reasons Tesla stock has done so well when you talk to analysts is there was an Elon Musk premium. I mean, this is a man who basically has set out to do, told us he wanted to go to Mars and back. And then, of course, he starts SpaceX. That has been a success, not to Mars and back, but still, he's done that. He talked about trying to basically create an electric car. He did that with Tesla, the Boring Company. I mean, he is a man for the ages. He's clearly a man who is a genius in many capacities, and we should note that genius doesn't translate to all areas. Social intelligence is very different, for example, than perhaps native intelligence in the area that he's in. But I think what's happened is that there was this sense that Elon Musk could do anything. And we've seen this odd deterioration. It's almost like people who have no filter around them, or nobody saying, Elon, not a good idea. You don't get the sense this is a man who seeks a lot of counsel, not unlike the previous president, doing things that sabotage not only his own reputation as a leader, but his company.
You've covered CEOs. Aside from the former president as well as Elon Musk, have you ever run into this?
I think one thing that anyone who covers this space always runs into, and it would be this myth of genius. We've seen it in many times in history, and it often comes in a time when the wind has been at people's back for so long they start to believe that it's their excellence. We've seen it on Wall Street at certain points before the financial crash. We saw it during the dot-com boom in 2000. This idea that you're so good that you're Teflon and you're immune to the realities of gravity and you're immune to the realities of public sentiment. I can't think of a time in history where that has proven to be the case long term. So I suspect Elon Musk is discovering that he's not beloved by all and that his actions have consequences that can be quite negative for his company.
I do want to talk about those actions. So over the past week, we've seen him ping pong between the first richest person in the world and the second. So do you think more tweets that are controversial will bring him down even further?
Well, I think there's a couple of factors at play, and I should say that Tesla, one factor as well, in addition to perhaps having been overvalued last year as we were euphoric around Elon Musk, there is the reality that we're heading into economic tough times, supply chain issues. So there's very real, valid reasons why people are concerned about that company and the sector in general. So that's one thing. But I think that what's really happening right now with him is that Twitter, even if he manages to turn it around, such a small part of his net worth. It's currently about $20 billion. If he's worth $180 billion, that's a very small amount of his net worth. He really needs to focus on what the bulk of his net worth comes from, which is Tesla, which is these other companies, and he's clearly distracted. There's many cases, I suppose, of people who've run two companies, not many that have been successful. He did do it previously, but he's spending so much time on this really political, I think largely destructive actions with regard to his platform, and it's coming at a cost to at least how people perceive his ability to run the other companies that are worth much more